with great satisfaction, I must say. I have been very much personally associated with the students of law ever since I have been DSW. I was DSW almost for 8 years. And these were the students from Department of Law who would take part in each and every activity, whether it was to administer their communication skill, which you saw just now when Mr. Ahmed spoke, Mr. Suhail spoke, and Mr. Umar Bashir, spoke, their communication skill, and of course the acumen which they have, which they displayed while they were giving their speech. And I'm so happy that today's particular program, that's Kashmir and Socio-Religious Harmony, which is being organized jointly with Kashmir Jurists, is need of the hour, and one of the important programs, one of the important deliberations that has taken place over here. For the information of our learned guests, we have 3 more law colleges in the private sector which are affiliated to University of Kashmir. Again, good number of students are studying there. I will definitely want any other topic of importance would be this one. We would take it more forward. In a bigger gathering, I would definitely like that we organize these types of programs so that it reaches down to the community level, and more number of students are associated with it. With full satisfaction, I must say that our youth, whether studying in our institution or outside our institutions, I totally agree. I think one of the speakers said that pertaining to moral values, the Kashmiris have still that intact, and that's very true. Wherever the Kashmiris are, they abide by their moral values, which has been embedded within us right from our childhood, and we definitely go with that. I will just share a simple example of my own. I was given a task by UGC to be coordinator of one of the refresher course in Jammu. It was in my discipline. I had to conduct that program at Jammu University, and I was there for 3 weeks. And Ramzan was there. I had to fast, and who used to get food for me for iftari and even at the sehri time? It was one of my friends from Kashmir. I'll say her name also, Renu Kohl, and she would when Wangnu Saab was speaking, so I went into that time, this type of feelings and this type of affection we had for each other. मैं इफ्तारी जो वो लाती थी उससे करती थी, हॉट टी शी वुड गेट फॉर मी, और घर से आती थी, और सहरी के टाइम शाम को मुझे टिफ़िन छोड़ जाती थी, with that. So these were the type of bondings which we had, and this bonding still continues, and inshallah, this youth has to play a great role. They are at a very important, this age group is at a very important time, very important responsibilities they have at their shoulders, not only academically, even from the societal point of view. And we do expect that our youth will play that role. I know academically and from research point of view, they are so good. No one can beat them. I know so many, students who have been law students over here are excelling in US, excelling in Canada, Australia, everywhere in the world they are into the civil services, and it's just by the dent of their hard work if they have reached anywhere. But again, as Mr. Lamba or Wang Musab said, or other speakers said, that they have a great duty to their nation, which we do expect that they'll fulfill. They will also, train the younger age group who come into this, not only to this department, to the university as a whole. They have to train them also, and whatever important topics which they choose for deliberation, we should definitely speak on them, so that there's change in the setup, change in the mindset, which is need of the hour, and we should definitely take that task in this institute, and not only remain in the four walls of this institute. It should go down to the community level. We are already making lots of efforts, and collaboration, this type of collaboration is very important. We are collaborating with other institutes also, with other organizations also, because definitely from research point of view it's important for us, for academic point of view it's important, from societal point of view it's very important.
Today the topic is so much relevant in today's environment, today's times, today's world, that people should look up to the Kashmir as a state where everything is right, everything will be right, and everything will be set right, and nothing better than the youth here, the budding youth, the generation next, as the Colonel told. You see, you are the future in the nation, you are the vibrant youth, as Dr. Abdul Kalam said, and I quote, "The ignited minds of the youth is the most powerful resource on earth." And I totally agree with him. Totally agree with him. So I address that power today, who will shape and define the future of our country. So after listening to the thoughts of the budding speakers, so Kashmir is also known as Pirwire, the abode of saints and Sufis. They journeyed long distances to foster an atmosphere of peace, love, compassion, togetherness, brotherhood, communal harmony in Kashmir. The glorious past needs to be rekindled by this generation. Kashmir, the land of Sufi humanistic philosophy, has had a profound impact on the establishment of Kashmiri ethnic identity. The Sufis' sincere advocacy of humanism in the medieval period resulted in a particularly rich and distinctive composite culture known as the Kashmiriyat, which was characterized by the social peace and religious harmony. A multi-religious culture like Jammu and Kashmir offers a method for peace and coexistence. The valley bears the proof of peaceful religious coexistence in form of famous temples, mosques, ziyarats, gurdwaras. I've got plenty of them written here, but I'm sure you all know. These historical monuments aptly describe the socio-religious fiber of the Kashmir Valley. The insurgency in Kashmir, unfortunately, brought about an ideological change that was never seen here, and people were as awestruck as anybody else to see such a rapid change taking place. However, the socio-religious harmony is deep-rooted here, and people have profound love for these rich culture and social nuances. I implore the youth today to stay true to the roots, resist the temptations of any ideology that goes against the harmony and peace of the beautiful valley. The rapid changing landscape and enormous socio-economic developments presents us with golden opportunity to reclaim this peace, harmony, and prosperity for the future generations. I've been in the valley a number of times, as I told you earlier, but now as I move around the peaceful environs of this Kashmir Valley, I'm very happy and confident that we are progressing in the right direction and will usher Kashmir into an era of peaceful, vibrant, multi-religious ethnic society. The present and future generations need to revisit this glorious history and ensure that the socio-religious harmony is nourished and cherished for the betterment of our Kashmir. and our nation.
From the beginning of this universe, we see that there has been differences on basis of religion, and so lot of thinkers have spoken and have written about the religion. Particularly in our subject, when we talk of the Karl Marx, Max Weber, and the Emile Durkheim, we have given three different theories. One has given, Marx has given about the conflicting situation of the religion. Then we talk about the Weber, who has given the economic value of, and we talk about the Protestant ethics and the rise of capitalism. And then when we talk about the Emile Durkheim and others, they have talked about the functional value of the religion, because religion has a lot of functional value in the society. I will give few postulates of the functional value of religion, 5-6, just to quote them. Because when we talk about the religion, it is a set of beliefs which gives meaning to our life. And 6 or 8 functional values of religion, when we talk about the functional aspect of the religion, is that it reinforces social unity and stability. It gives meaning and purpose to the life. It acts as an agent of social control, promotes physical and psychological well-being, motivating people to work for the positive change, provides mental peace, and most important what it does, religious converts the animal qualities of an human being into the human qualities. These are certain functional values of the religion which are being postulated or which are being put forth by the different theorists which I told you. And probably when I link it to my own Kashmir, we see that probably our Sufis, saints and rishis and munis, they were the proponents of the functional value of religion. And when we see all the Sufis, saints, munis and rishis in Kashmir have taught the brotherhood. And fortunately I have been born and brought up in a village of Tral. And I have been brought in a mixed population of Sikhs and Muslims. Almost we are 50-50 in our own village. So we have grown up in the harmony and brotherhood to each other, to each community. My neighborhood is a Sikh family. So we have grown and been brought up together in the society. So I can understand the values and well-being of a being living in a harmonious relationship with each other.
For arranging such a wonderful session. On one side, we have those who defend this land, who protect boundaries of this land. On the other side, we have jurists, and then we have some fellow academicians over here. Let me submit it, sir. You protect boundaries of this land. We also protect. We protect boundaries of imagination. Similarly, our jurists, they also protect certain boundaries. So it's appropriate, all of us who are engaged in protection of these boundaries, share our experiences, sit together, share success stories, so that all of us get upgraded. As regards the theme of this session, the subject which are discussing in this room today, socio-religious harmony. It is rooted very deep in the ethos of this society. Our history is witness to it. Our literature is witness to it. The famous poet of this land, Mahjoor, He has said, and we used to narrate, we used to read this poem in our schools, in morning assemblies. Yim sakhan paida karan khalkan andar ulfat lol, dur im sid gach nafrat tivan hishnalta. Oh God, guide me to say that, to preach that, which vanishes hatred from the minds and hearts of the people. So this is our base. How can we expect that our belief in socio-cultural harmony, any force, anything can shatter our faith in all these things? I am confident that our faith in socio-religious harmony, it's not going to shatter. Nothing is going to deviate us from that. Then, as earlier speakers did mention, and Wangnu Sahab may be witness to it, we have fought so many things together. We have faced so many problems together. And that used to act a binding force for this society. As regards role of educational institutions in promoting socio-cultural harmony, or for that matter, once we study religious scriptures, even we need not to read those scriptures between the lines. It is very loud and clear, irrespective of the faith we belong to, the faith we believe to. It's mentioned very clearly. The respect for human beings. It's not respect for any particular person with any particular faith. Rather, it has been emphasized. Mankind is being warned. You respect mankind. Bakhabar shav az makame admi. A Persian couplet. It's a sort of warning is being given to the mankind, to the human being. You understand the status of this mankind with utmost pride. God has created this creation. God has created mankind. Be aware what his status is. There's no mention if he belongs to this particular faith, then and only then you respect him. No. So education. If education doesn't enhance the awareness, doesn't make us aware about these things, I think that education is incomplete. If education doesn't bring this enlightenment in us, education is complete. I should say, with permission of my Vice Chancellor, I would say it is a failure if it doesn't bring that enlightenment in us. दिल की तारीख फजाएं न हो रोशन जिसे ऐसे बीमार उजालों में भी क्या रखा है. So if education doesn't elevate us to that level, we should say that this whole system is a failure.
Given an opportunity to speak on the topic of Kashmir and socio-religious harmony, I have mixed emotions. First of all, I feel privileged to be sitting among such knowledgeable elders, and also with the generation next, the younger generation, who will be learning and guiding the country forward. As far as the topic is concerned, Kashmir, the land of rishis and Sufis, saints, the teachings deeply define the Kashmiriyat. Kashmiriyat gets defined by the teachings of Sufis and rishis of Kashmir Valley. It allows ethno-cultural symbiotic consciousness, and also it is a concept of tolerance and inclusivity which allows practice of all faiths and beliefs. That is what Kashmiriyat can be defined in a nutshell. Similar to Kashmiriyat, in army, we follow Sarv Dharm Sambhav. All religion tolerating, being practiced by each other. You have today in front of you example in the form of general, happens to be following a Sikh religion, but commanding or been the commander of Hindu troops. Similar way, I practicing a Hindu, but commanding a Punjabi troops, Sikh troops. Here I would like to mention our own braveheart from the valley, Lieutenant Umar Fayaz, a young dynamic officer practicing Islam, commanding a Rajputana troops. You can't evoke more appropriate example for Kashmiriyat. So to say Kashmiriyat and Southern Sambhav of army are actually, when I go back home, I interact. I give examples of this place to my children to tell them that is how the society here has a tolerance, acceptance, and religious harmony.
I am among the senior most faculty members of the university. I know what the culture of Kashmir was like, what the culture of any educational institution was like, or any community of which we are a part. I am a original resident of a downtown area of the city of Srinagar known as Safakadal, where the population density of both Hindu and Muslim was almost same. There was no sort of partitioning that what is the name of this particular street member and what's the name of the other street member. There were no different streets through which we could reach our homes. And any function, be it cultural function, be it marriage, be it any other function, every community member was a part, irrespective of what religious caste and creed belongs to. And there was no need to invite somebody, no need to inform somebody. As and when we saw something happening, and would literally rush towards that home. There's a function in this particular home for the day, and would sit there with them and being a part of that system as a whole. In the schools also, when we were kids of the schools and colleges and university, there was a harmony, and in that harmony, religion was never a barrier. Would come together, live together, sit together in the classroom, in the labs, or even when we used to visit for picnic purposes to any destination. There was no partitioning that he belongs to this religion, I belong to this religion. We would sit together. And in that sitting together, there was no barrier in what I will consume, what I would share with my friend. Whatever I used to carry with me, be it food, be it sweets, be it water, be it cold drinks, etc., we used to share those easily. And sometimes using the same container to consume that. There was no barrier at all. And that is what we have seen, what we have grown with.
I take this opportunity to look forward for a very strong memorandum of understanding for starting a course, a PG diploma course on national security and defense laws. And this course is taught at one place in India, that is Nalsar. I discussed it with my fellow students and the members of the Kashmir Association. And I'll ensure that 50% of the reservation would be for army and defense personnel, so that they also get a chance to come to this university and learn. And the other civilians also will get a chance to basically look into and study the defense laws. We don't have, in northern India, we don't have this kind of program. And I'm going to share the details with my Vardi Vice Chancellor, Registrar, and Lamba sir, definitely. Then I would also look forward to the participation of my students in JAG, sir. In? JAG. JAG basically is a very important branch. My students have never got an opportunity to look at how the JAG works, how the army just system works, how it functions, how the lawyers work there. And then it will be an endeavor on my part, basically, if you allow and you allow us, so that my students also go and learn the legal techniques and technicalities about JAG working, court martial and other things, which is very important branch of the justice delivery system. And I will also look forward about the law students very actively involved in law in action program, legal awareness program, and the other related programs. It's not only surveillance, where we need to go and then talk about law in action, spread the legal awareness. It's also one part of the public, which is the defense personnel, where we don't get chance, basically, sir, to send our students. I wish that my students go and then resolve your disputes. The family disputes of the army person, the internal disputes of the army person. And then if we work together in tandem, then it will be a very good experience, sir. And then my students will get a chance to go there and then have a kind of basically experience to resolve different kinds of the nature of the disputes would be same, but resolve it differently with a different group of people. And then I would also look forward about your support in coaching my students in CLAT and IS, because you are already providing that support to the other sectors. Sir, I request and I look forward for your support in providing support to my students to go for the coaching like IES, CLAT, etc., etc. And then I also look forward about the visits of the faculty and the students to participate in the sports, adventure sports like mountaineering and high altitude trekking, etc., where my students would go, my faculty would go, and then you would provide some space and support, and then it will basically deepen the interaction between you and us, sir. And then last but not least, sir, I would also look forward for joining my students in Indian Army to provide us opportunities to see where my students, my law students and other students of the university can get adjusted in this very large sector which provides the employment to the youth.
गर फिरदों से बरोए ज़मीन अस्त, हमें अस्तो व हमें अस्तो अस्त. If there is paradise on earth, it is this, it is this. Coupled with the beauty of Kashmir remains the rich cultural heritage and the religious harmony of Kashmir through ages. To the extent that amidst the unprecedented migration and loss of life during partition, even the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, acknowledged that the only ray of hope which he saw did come from Kashmir. It was acknowledgement of the spirit of harmony, coexistence, and the influence of great saints and sages, which even those unprecedented events could not shake. The modest attempt by Kashmir jurists in collaboration with the School of Law would pave way for imbibing these values in the budding generation of lawyers and other sections of the society to remember, cherish, and adhere to these values, which are indispensable for the socio-religious harmony of Kashmir. Craving for the revival of the illuminating message of education and expressed by all the saints and peers of Kashmir, I pray. Sedi sad vakto beyfer vapas. Mechuna amut choni lol. Sedi sad vakto beyfer vapas. Mechuna amut choni lol. Cheshmul losam akilati vichahat. Mechuna amut choni lol. Sokul maduras vanwan. Sokul maduras vanwan. Kitabi kalmas os chale jao. Dag cham jigras roy sui havdam. Mechuna amut choni lol.